What's up, young whippersnappers? Welcome to the video. A vlog video, basically. We have a lot to talk about. I don't remember what I did in the last video. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. So let's just knife progress. This is knife good, knife not sharp. Hold on. Yes, very nice. You got lucky because usually I can't flip it. I had to use gravity to help me out. Yeah, it's coming out pretty good. So it's named Iris, and you might be wondering why it's named that. Well, Iris sounds pretty cool, so there you go. And yep, blade's looking pretty good. Not sharp, but we'll talk about that. The anodizing, the tool path, like the fancy handle design. I mean, it's not fancy, but you know, it's different. Hold on. The camera focus is like way in the corner. Okay, here you go. There you go. So yeah, I still don't have threaded spacers because they're incredibly difficult to make. I mean, I have the spacers, but they're not secured, so that makes the knife kind of act weird. Yeah, it's very stiff. Here, so I kind of got the lock bar stuff pretty down, but yeah, very, very little to no blade play. Flipping wise, it kind of depends. Like right now, I think it's because the hardware is not in it, so I think that's kind of where I got my weird flipping motion. But yeah, it's coming along. This is the backside anodizing. So what I did was I tumbled it and then I anodized it, so it looks pretty cool. It's kind of a rainbow, like a beat up rainbow, you know, we like that kind of stuff. I decided to remove any sort of feature from the blade. I think it looks a lot better with nothing on it. And yeah, this also isn't perfectly hard milled, but it is significantly better than the first one. On the backside, you can see there's some mill marks that were impossible to polish out. Yeah, so why don't we talk about the belt sander that I got. So I obviously need a way to sharpen blades, so I needed a belt sander because I plan on making more than one of these blades sharpened, and a belt sander is kind of the way to go. So the belt sander I went with is a Origin Blade Makers belt sander. They're out of Oregon. Yeah, I mean, we'll just talk about it. So here it is. Got a 10-inch wheel. I don't know anything about knife sharpening, so you're gonna have to excuse my noviceness. There's a flat platen with the tooling arm. It uses 1.5-inch tooling arms, standard. The frame is steel. It's incredibly heavy. Like, just the frame alone was quite a lot to lift up, actually. So it's definitely steel. Got this yellow powder coat. Would I say I'm a fan of the color? Maybe not necessarily, but it is just a color, and I could care less about colors. The amount of research I did on belt sanders was mind-numbing and pretty annoying because there's a lot of different ones. Do you build yourself? Do you buy? So I ended up buying because I don't need to learn how to make a belt sander. I just need one. So yeah, it came actually really well packaged. I only had one damaged bolt or damaged piece, and it was this bolt, 3/8 bolt. It was actually bent, which was pretty impressive, so it obviously took a nice hard fall on that side there. Yeah, it's packaged well. Like I said, it comes in cardboard boxes, but there's wood support, and it uses that expanding foam stuff. The expanding foam, like the heat wrap stuff. So yeah, it was pretty well wrapped. The VFD and the motor itself, they come in different boxes because they're from different manufacturers. This is obviously on a gas strut, so I've heard gas strut's the way to go. I don't know otherwise because I don't have experience. It does tilt horizontally via this lever. You pull it, loosen it, and it actually has these, let me see if I can see, there's notches somewhere. On here there's notches. I'd show you, but it's not bolted down, and the motor's really heavy, so yeah, so basically it tilts 45 or 30 and then all the way horizontal, so it's pretty slick. I paid $2,200 after shipping. So it's not cheap, and yeah, the stuff's just not cheap. I mean, if you buy the motor and the VFD alone, you're talking like $700 basically. I think this VFD by itself is $500, so I mean, I don't know. By the time you build something that's really nice, spend your time, then yeah, I don't know. To me, it's pretty close. I mean, you'd probably save $600, but it's a tough sell. Oh, also this is extra, so I added this as an accessory. So I mean, that was another, you know, with the tooling arm and the wheel, basically $200 extra, I think. And it's balanced and everything. It's got balanced stuff. I actually haven't run a belt on it, as you can probably tell, but yeah, we can talk about the belts I got if you guys want. Yeah, if you guys want. The motor is from Mexico. It's sealed though. I mean, I would have liked to seen an American motor, but for the price point, it's hard to beat. VFD is American though, and the frame itself and basically all this stuff is American. Believe it or not, the gas strut is actually American, which pretty much blew my mind because I had no idea in America anyone in America was making gas struts. See, yeah. So that's that. The okay, let's move on. We'll walk towards the machine. I'll try not to trip on anything because there's stuff on the ground. Yeah, so it's been a busy week. Oh, I will say about that, I had to use this outlet on the ceiling. I don't know if you can see that. See the blue cord hanging around my thing? You know, I just realized that's a terrible idea. But the wall outlets in here are actually GFCI, GCFI, whatever. The current breaking limiters for like water. When the outlet's near water, you have to have those. So basically, the two walls, there's a GFs, whatever it is, like at the beginning of the wall, and they're all linked together. And that motor actually, it's a 110. It can be wired for 220, but I'm actually out of 220 outlets here. When it pulls that high amp start for this motor, it actually pops that breaker in that wall outlet. So I had to use a straight wall outlet, and the ones on the ceiling are not under that sort of ground protector. So I thought it was broken at first, but after it kept popping the two breakers on both walls, I figured that's what it was. So that's my temporary stupid solution, as you can tell. Moving on, talk about belts for a little bit. I don't know anything about belts, but I bought belts from, I don't remember, because there's a lot of belt makers, but I bought from one of the popular ones, but it wasn't Combat Abrasives. It's just someone who supplies belts, also a lot of 3M stuff. So this is kind of the stack of belts I got, and I got the square, I don't know what you call it, but it looked cool, and someone on a video said it was a good idea, so like I said, oh, that's loud. I don't know what I'm doing, so I just bought what was good. And then I got a stropping belt from Amazon, and stropping belts are leather with the compound, and this also came with some belts, but this was USA made. And yeah, this is the compound you rub on the belt. Yeah, I got a mix of aluminum belts, carbide, or ceramic belts, not carbide, and the other one like zirconian, I think. So we'll kind of give that a test and see how that goes. Let's see, other updates. Obviously the anodizing setup is now working, which is really good. That took me a couple days. I probably should have filmed, but I've been kind of in like the go mode because I'm back to working full time. I'm not on like this off schedule thing anymore, so I have lost obviously a lot of free time, if you will. So it's kind of hard to record and upload in a quick fashion. But I have today off, so that's why I'm recording. Okay, now on to kind of where I'm at as far as like the knife goes. So obviously you can tell by what I just showed you that we're really close to having an actual finished product. Obviously I haven't sharpened it yet. I sharpened the other one, but it wasn't very good because I didn't have the belt grinder. As far as mechanics go, we're really close. The hardware obviously is not finished. I need to figure out what I'm going to do about hardware. I debate if I should farm the hardware out to like a Swiss manufacturer, like people with Swiss lathes. I don't have the money to buy a Swiss lathe, obviously, otherwise I would. So yeah, that's kind of a debate, like should I make them on the mill, build a fixture, is it worth it? You lose a lot of material having to cut round parts on a mill out of a blank, obviously, so I don't know. And then the last, what we're actually going to work on today is the clip. So originally I had the clip get bolted to right there, and obviously hidden hardware, and it would obviously, you know, stop down here. Well, the problem with doing that is if you have the clip hole there and you put in your pocket, you actually, like, a significant portion of the knife goes out. I mean, not as significant, but deep carry is the way to go. So what I've done was the new clip is will be cut into the bottom handle there. Come on, yeah. So there will be a cutout right here, and the clip will actually wrap into that bottom handle with hidden hardware, of course, because that's the way to go. And yeah, and so that'll make the carry like incredibly, like, as crazy deep as possible. I mean, only like that will be showing out of your pocket. So that'd be cool, I think. Like basically that. And so that's what we're working on today. Now, the clip is not straight at all. It's got a curve to it. The top is actually contoured, like the handle. It doesn't match the handle because it won't work like that. But it does have a contour, so we're gonna have to use surfacing. It's gonna be really cool, but titanium, of course. But the nature of it is it's a pain to. Sorry. It's a pain to fixture and make a fixture plate for because of the nature of it, really. So I have a 4th axis. I don't think you guys have seen. I mean, like a long time ago, I showed a couple videos of it, but I haven't really used it for anything. And I figured the clip would be a cool thing to use, like a cool way to do it, basically. Also, as far as like cost goes, round bar titanium is a lot cheaper than square bar titanium by like quite a bit from the research I've been doing. So if I could just buy round bar and just cut the clip out of round bar, that would save me a little bit of money, and then it'd save everybody else a little bit of money. So also, machining on the 4th axis is pretty cool, and it's pretty challenging, so that's kind of fun. And if I can get this to work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the lock bar inserts the same way. So as opposed to making a fixture for the lock bar inserts, we'll do it out of round bar, because that's cheap, and stainless round bar is cheaper than square bar. Yeah, so that's kind of the game plan, and now we'll talk about the actual setup. This is a very long one take. So this is a 5C collet chuck. Now, doing some research, they usually don't run collet chucks on rotaries, from what I can see, or like not many people sell an adapter for a rotary for a collet chuck. So what I ended up having to do was take the normal collet chuck adapter for a normal manual lathe and punch a bunch of holes into it and basically match the platter, the T-slot platter on the 4th axis. It's a little bit longer than I would have liked, but that's kind of, I got it dialed in yesterday and it works. So also dialing in stuff on a 4th axis is a huge pain, and there's like no videos on it on how to do it. The way I have it bolted is it's using three T-slots. So one up top and then 2 on the bottom, like a triangle. And it took me an hour and a half to actually dial in the runout, and it's 1.5 thou total of runout, which after an hour and a half was the best I could honestly do. And I ended up actually smashing my indicator, because like you'd indicate the thing over and you tap it down to, like, you know, tap it into place. And I ended up hitting the face of the indicator with the hammer, and it shattered. And I was kind of annoyed because it's like a Mitsutoi, like, expensive one. So then I had to order one. But luckily it was right on the tail end and I got it dialed in. So yeah, there's a little bit of runout at the collet face. It's basically 1.5. I measured it with a 10th indicator. And yeah, I mean, I figure that's probably the best we can do, because really at the end of the day, what I can do is you can cut a side and then turn it over. Excuse me, got the yawns. You can cut a side and index it 180, and then you can actually come in with the probe and then probe a feature, and you can basically update the work coordinate system to the center of the bar again, and that would verify that things are in place. So yeah, so that's basically a workaround for too much runout. But yeah, I mean, this system works pretty good. You turn this wheel and the collet comes out, and then you tighten it like this, put your bar in. It's pretty nice. Yeah, and in the future, the cool thing is you can actually automate these, and you can run a bar, like a little short bar, and have it actually automate parts. But we're definitely not there yet. Yeah. Okay, so starting off, here is the clip design. Oh, I guess I'll show you guys the whole thing. So that's what the clip looks like on the knife. So yeah, it's slimmed and wraps around. Not entirely sure if the height's gonna work yet, but that's the pocket right there. Right there. Bolt goes in there. Should be awesome if I can accomplish it, but probably gonna be one of the hardest parts. Probably definitely the hardest part on this entire thing. So moving on to the actual tool path. So what we got here is our part and a piece of 5/8 bar with an extra 1/2 inch on the back end for clearance against the collet chuck. So I ran a test one yesterday, and I posted a couple of things on Instagram about it, so that was pretty cool. If you're not following me on Instagram, you definitely should. So what I did on that one was I basically rotaried toolpath the entire thing, and obviously it came out too thin cutting it. So this is the new plan. So first we're going to go ahead and probe our X, and that's just going to tell the machine where the front of our stock is. Then we're going to adaptive clear the top, the actual clip hardware hole, horizontal it down to final depth, bore, and then scallop the actual the walls that the bolt goes around. Okay, that's called a countersink, by the way. Or is it a counterbore? I think it's a countersink, and a counterbore is the square one, or the flat walled. So we'll handle that first. Not sure if it's necessary to handle that first, but at least we know that when you set that, that's the most important feature, is to have that centered to that. So do that first. Oh my god, I swear to god, if I keep yawning, I'm gonna jump off the Deer's Bridge. Then we break up the actual toolpath into sections. That way we can have the most rigidity on the part. So the collet chuck is over here. The end of the part is over here. It's obviously going to be a long, thin part. So what we'll do is we'll take it in chunks, doing a rotary to rough it out, then a scallop to handle the front, because the rotary doesn't like to do these tips rounded over. Then a rotary to basically finish up the sides. Not entirely sure how that's going to look. Probably look like trash. We don't know until we try it. That's why we're doing this. And we will then continue to attack the part from here, but I just want to get these two sections done and see how it looks. So we have our piece of stock. I'm going to set it 2.5 inches out of the collet. Wait a minute, what is going on? Oh yes. Oh, that's why. Not sure if this is enough stick out or enough meat in the collet. Oh, we will find out. So yeah, tighten that up. That's where I had it set. That's where G54 P4 is set. I'm using P4. That's just another. It's like I'm not sure what it is in Fusion, but it's like It's like offset 10 or something. So what should happen is the probe will come down and it'll actually probe the face of this, and then it'll update X. And yeah, we should be good from there. I also, I haven't talked about this, but I switched probe bodies or styli, whatever you want to call it. So this is obviously a significantly smaller probe tip. Yeah, it's a 2mm, so I kind of need that to do the small knife parts. So that's what we got. So let's see if this will do what we expect it to do. Make sure to turn your rapids down for this stuff. Oh no. We're gonna be here a while. Okay, reposted it. Perfect, I think. Oh. Okay, I think that was correct. So now we're going to do this adaptive. Hold on, let me switch something. Alright. Nice slow rapids. Yeah, that's not correct. The end of the clip is not over there, so... Okay, I think it's because I probed the infusion, the probe area is a little confusing. So what I did was I modeled the stock, and let's see if that fixes it. So basically I'm going to probe the stock as opposed to the modeled stock, not Fusion's generated stock. And that should do what we want. And I think it's not going to approach it. I think it's it thinks it's in the wrong spot. Okay, I reprobed it to the correct location, so now we will see if this is correct. Alright, that looks a lot better. So we'll see when it actually touches off and updates if it's the same or really close to our X offset, which means that it's updating the work coordinate system in the correct location. So what we have is, this is our X value, and we'll see how much it changes by. So yeah, that's correct, only 1/10 of a difference. So now we know that this system's properly working, and it should put our tool in the correct spot. But I've been wrong before. Yeah, that looks a lot better. So I'm gonna go nice and slow on both everything, and make sure position, distance to go, make sure we're in the good spot. Oh yeah, we're definitely good. So yeah, it's gonna go ahead and adapt that out, and we'll see. So that sounds a lot better. or not. So do 70% rapids, or 70% feed and spindle, and it seems to cut the chatter down a lot. I know you guys can't see anything. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, and yeah. Alright, here's where we're at. That's after the adaptive and the horizontal. So that's a little bit of a chunk out. And we're going to go ahead and bore and then scallop the hardware hole. This might be too much material to remove up here, so I might actually start up here and work my way back to this, but we'll just find out. Okay, not bad for first section. So there we go, roughed out, horizontal on the top, then the hole for the hardware, and then the scallop to clean up the actual countersink. Sweet, so now we're going to start milling the first section, and I wonder if this much material removed will cause it to chatter like a mofo, but we will find out. Okay, here comes the cool part. So now what's going to happen is we're going to take a 3/16 end mill, and we're actually going to use rotary toolpath to cut a circular motion toolpath simultaneously, blah blah blah. So super important to note that these rotary moves hate not having look ahead. So you actually need to enable look ahead or high-speed machining in your controller, and I only have 60 hours remaining of high-speed machining because I'm really poor. So I have to turn it on and off every time I want to use high-speed machining, and you basically have to use it to do simultaneous fourth moves. Otherwise the fourth move is really jittery and your tool paths will come out looking like garbage. So we will turn that on, we will start the tool path, and then we will see how it goes. Oh, that was highly aggressive. Oh my god, I had to break that end mill. Are you gonna do that again? Damn, dude, that's crazy. Guess we'll fix that. I wonder how the end mill is. Oh, it's still sharp. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Okay, so Fusion doesn't like that setup, I guess. Okay, so I guess Fusion doesn't really like that setup. So what we're going to do is we're going to adaptive down, clear a flat area above the top, and then we'll start the rotary from the start of the part as opposed to having it offset from the front. Because having it offset from the front caused it to do those really weird linking moves, and those weird linking moves were obviously not good for the end mill whatsoever, but very good for the comedic factor. So yeah, we're going to adaptive. It's going to be on the same plane that the bored hole is, and then it'll start the rotary toolpath, which may or may not break the end mill because of the actual depth load on it, but we'll see. Fusion doesn't have a inner radius setting or an inner diameter setting for rotary, which is kind of strange. Yeah, I bet you can control it with sketches or bodies, but I haven't tried that yet, so yeah, we're just testing here. Oops, I forgot to turn the high-speed machining on. So here's the adaptive. That end mill is definitely dull. Oh yeah. She dull. We'll send it in here though for that adaptive and see how much life we can get out of her. Alright, here goes nothing. Not the worst thing I've ever heard. Okay, here is after that adaptive, the rotary with the 3/16, even though it's dull, the finish is pretty nice. Obviously the end's not done. That's what I was talking about. Rotary sucks at doing ends of stuff. So yeah, now we're going to do a scallop to clean that edge up, and then we'll do a rotary with a ball end mill and see how it turns out. Okay, well that didn't go that great. I'm not entirely sure why, but one of the linking moves caused the ball end mill to slam right through the center of the part. So yeah. Thanks, Fusion! Okay, so we obviously unsuccessful on the second one because of this linking move. I don't know. In Fusion it doesn't show it linking into the part, so I don't know what to tell you. Then we blew the cutter up trying to do a rotary with a ball end mill. No good. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to adaptive clear all 4 sides, and then we're going to rotary. So we'll see how that works. Oh yeah, I definitely blew the cutter up. It was spectacular. Okay, so far nothing has exploded. And yeah, so let's go over here. So I'm in the middle of doing this. So we're going to try to sharpen this old blade and see what we get. Okay, didn't get very far doing any sanding. I don't understand this no feed rate error. Like, I don't understand why it takes the feed rate and then splits it on the line. So yeah, that totally messes us up. Rotary, how dare you? Just so you can see where we're at though. Oh yes, it appears to have gouged the part again. Very nice. Very nice. Good job, Fusion. Good job. What's that, the 3rd one? The 4th one? Nice. Real nice. Okay, so what I've decided to do, obviously we're gouging the part. I'm not entirely sure why. The toolpath in Fusion doesn't look like a normal rotary toolpath with it going around. It's got this like, it goes and then it does this like loop-de-loop, so it has something to do with the geometry of the part, and Fusion doesn't like it. Rotary's kind of new, so maybe, I don't know, benefit of the doubt and all that. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to scrap this one yet. There wasn't too much shatter on the end, which is a good sign. So I've divided the part up into sections. So this is section 1, 2, 3, 4, and etc. all the way through. What we're going to do is run section 2 now and see, I don't know why I did air quotes, and see how it actually turns out. What I'm doing is an adaptive, I think I said this, adaptive all 4 sides, horizontal on the top and bottom, and then we're going to scallop the 2 sides for the radius, the fillets or whatever. Yeah, I think I won't have to use high-speed machining either, and the surface finish should come out pretty good. And this is a good way to see if we'll have chatter, and if this way works, then maybe we'll be able to load up a fresh bar tomorrow and see how it actually turns out. But I'm just gonna work my way down the part and see how it turns out. So yeah. Okay, so while I was running, I was sharpening an actual hardened blade. So that's what we got. First hardened blade sharpened. They don't match at all, but I will say that I shaved this part of my arm off, so that's pretty good. Like, it's not super sharp, like it kind of hurts when I do that, but see, there's hair on the blade. So yeah, let's okay, I didn't film it because kind of boring, but I don't know what I'm doing, so yeah. Okay, now as far as the machining goes, not as positive as I would hope. Can you focus? Hey, there you are. So it looks like it didn't even round the edges over, and it has something to do with the fact that the part is not like concentric to the spindle, so I don't think it even touched it. So I'm not entirely sure what the fix is, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah. So let me work on that, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna end the video here. I'm gonna work on that rotary thing, or the blend thing, the thing I was just talking about. But this is a piece of paper, and this is a knife. Actually, this is iris, but also a knife. It's probably not gonna do what we think it's gonna do, because I don't think it's that sharp, but we have to try, and this will show progress, so. Oh, it works. Oh, it's a little dull on the end there. Oh yeah, dull right there. Oh, the tip's pretty sharp. Fuck. I wonder if I can see where it's dull. Okay, we'll try like, here, we'll try it right here on the back. Oh, yeah. Oh wow, it's dull right there. Wow, it's really sharp, like right on the end of it. I guess that's cheating if I go in the middle like that, isn't it? Not bad, not bad. My arm really burns from doing that. Anyways, so it's the first hardened blade sharpened, and now it's incredibly dangerous for me to be playing with it in my pocket, but yeah, not bad. I might resharpen the bottom side of the bezel. I'm not entirely sure, like, what's the best way to do that? Do I go to like a high grit, like a 240, and go up, or do I go all the way down to like the 80? You know, like I don't really know, because I don't know what I'm doing, but fuck. See, it's kind of weird, but I think it's because of that hardware not being in there. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a good flipper for sure. Like when I put pressure on it, it acts a lot better, but fighting gravity is a little harder. And I have to work, there's a crunchiness right there from the detent ramp not being like the proper slope, I think. So it's kind of something I had to work on. Also, I'm changing to ceramic bearings or balls, ceramic ball for the detent. Bad, better. So yeah, getting there, very close. I am gonna start doing something, pre-orders or a Kickstarter or something of that nature, because I need cash. I need money. Buying animals is expensive, and yeah. So if that's something you're interested in, keep a lookout. I'm definitely gonna announce it on Instagram. But yeah, I don't have a real price nailed down. I think price is very difficult to nail down on this kind of stuff. So, but yeah. But anyways, if you like the video, please sub and like and do all the fun stuff that the big YouTubers tell you to do. Please. Yeah, you don't have to do any of that. I actually never do that on like any video. I really rarely subscribe to people, like completely honest. I mean, I don't know why either, because like, what's something you like, you see on like Instagram, you follow people like it's so easy, you know, you don't, second thought kind of thing. But on YouTube, it's like, you like, you hesitate almost, you know, it's kind of weird. You know what I'm talking about? I think I know what I'm talking about. I mean, when it comes to not subscribing, personally. Yeah, so like I said, thanks for watching.